Well, hello, everybody. Are you stressed? Are you overwhelmed? Imagine finding calm in the chaos today. Welcome to to Airhead Institute's 1 p.m. session, How to Quiet the Mind in Our Daily Stressful Situations. I'm AI Johnny, here with AI Junior, and we're thrilled to introduce Michelle Pascal, the global meditation master dubbed the Medicine Voice. From transforming lives at the NYPD to filling Carnegie Hall with his healing presence, Michelle's revolutionary meditation for daily stress will teach you practical tools to find peace in real-world madness. Get ready for an unforgettable hour. Let's go to it. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello. Again, I am very, very happy to be with you because I think when we combine meditation and artificial intelligence, it can create something very useful, especially in our time, because I will say calming the mind today, it's maybe the only way to survive. How can we love if our brain is running all the time? We don't love. We have needs, but we don't love because we are not present, because our brain is all time occupied. How can we love our kids? How can we love our friends, our family members, our colleagues, our pets? How can we love our dog, our puppy, if we are never present? And I will say, how can we work? How can we work if our brain is running all the time? Because the more the brain is occupied, the more we overthink, the less we are efficient, because we have mental confusion. So thank you so much. Thank you to each of you. And I say a big hello to my brother, Dustin, an amazing military veteran who become meditation teacher trained in our program. Thank you for having me.
Johnny?
So, Michelle, you are an expert at healing the mind in daily stressful situations, and you have worked with the NYPD, and I understand that you're now working with veterans. And I know that's one of the reasons that we came together. We met through a mutual friend, Bruce Bryant, and he was telling me that you're doing wonderful work with veterans. My wife Claire and I have been working with veterans, specifically targeting the high rate of veteran suicide for, well, since 2019. So it's been 6 years. We host multiple events, and our approach to helping veterans is getting them together. I explained that to my 3-year-old, and she started singing that song. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. And but I think at the root of it, from a medical standpoint, people come back from war with a myriad of mental health disorders, not just PTSD. They have schizophrenia, they have paranoia, they have addictions, they have a lot of problems. Each of those problems are treatable on their own, but if you combine those with a lengthy period of isolation, 90 days or more, it becomes a lethal combination. So we're not attacking it directly at all like your therapy sessions would. The way we're
I'm going to assume there were some technical glitches here. But I think what Johnny was actually going to say was, AIs actually can help augment the actual, healing and spirituality and calming of the mind. Johnny, I think you're back. Awesome.
First, I would like to share with you a data. What is the population in America the most affected by suicide, PTSD, anxiety, ADHD. What is this population? This is the prisoners. Incarcerated population is impacted by mental problem, suicide, for example, 4 times more than any other population. So, from my monastic life, I create a new approach of meditation that I will share with you today. But since 10 years, we developed this program with Amity Foundation in California. Amity Foundation is since 40 years the most important foundation for the reinsertion of the prisoners. Since 10 years, listen, we have 0 suicide. 0 suicide on the population the most affected by suicide. We have 100% positive opinion. When I talk about prisoners, I talk also for lifers, prisoners incarcerated for life. We have 100% positive opinion. In California, around 80% of prisoners return to jail. 80%. They go back to jail. With the programs that we do, 90% of the prisoners never return to jail. They find a job. They rebuild a family. So it is fascinating when we talk about the suicide that we have solved this situation. Not we have a progress, not we have a hope. No. Since 10 years, we have 0 suicide. With the population the most affected by suicide. So I will say we need to learn from these people. We need to learn from the prisoners. Of course, they are not PhD, they are not experts in wellness, they are not famous, but they have the best result of America in mental health. So there is a moment we must be humble and learn from them, learn from this result. I start to work with the military veterans since 5 years, especially at Aspire Center, the psychiatric hospital for the suicide in San Diego, in California. We have 0 suicide with the program. And so I am very honored to be with you, John, to be with you, Junior, and to be with each of you, because I love the military veteran. I love these people because they serve, they give their life to protect us. So it's a blessing for me to train 6 military veterans, and one of them is with us today, Dustin. Dustin is an exceptional guy, and it's an honor to have Dustin with us. He's an exceptional meditation teacher, trained in our program since many years. But I want to say, when we talk about suicide prevention, there is hope in this world. But this hope comes from the poorest people, the most rejected of America. And the programs that we do with Amity Foundation in Los Angeles from July will be extended to every prison of California. Every prison of California. So yes, there is hope. Alors after, the question is, how is it possible to have this result? How is it possible? A few weeks ago, I was with the mayor of New York City, and he said, Michel, we are devastated by the suicide at New York PD. One of my best friends I will say like a spiritual brother is the sergeant who directs the security for the mayor. I saw this guy in tears. I saw the mayor of New York in tears, saying to me, Michel, we have too much suicide. This is unacceptable. And I gave a big hug to the mayor, a big hug to my friend. And I say, we can solve this problem as we have already solved since 10 years in Los Angeles at Amity Foundation. So yes, in our crazy world, there is hope. Now, if your question is, how is it possible? How is it possible to have this result? When you know suicide is the second common cause of death in the world. You know, every 40 seconds in the world, someone take his life or take her life. How can we have this result? I will reply with a little humor, because what we do at Amity Foundation with our program, it's exactly the opposite of all the usual programs. It's exactly the opposite. It's totally different. Usually, when we have trauma, we talk about the trauma. We ruminate the trauma. But you know, this is the big debate between psychologists and neuroscientists. The psychologists say you must talk, you must express your trauma. And of course, it's important to do that. But from a neuroscientific perspective, and I love science, I love neuroscience, when we put electrode on the brain and we check what is the reality, we know that the more you talk about your trauma, the more you revisit your trauma, the more you become addicted to your trauma. Because when you revisit a trauma, you upgrade the cortisol. Cortisol, this is the hormone of the stress. Cortisol damages your brain function. Cortisol gives acidity in the esophagus. Cortisol damages your liver. Cortisol damages your heart. Cortisol damages all our life. So the more we ruminate negative thoughts, the more we become addicted to the cortisol. And as we say in neuroscience, every emotion is a neurochemical addiction. If you have stress today, you will have more stress tomorrow because it's an addiction. So your brain will find any pretext to be more stressed. Your brain will find any pretext. It's like alcohol, it's like drugs. You will be attracted by news, by conflict, by problem. You will create problem because it's an addiction. So what we do with the prisoners, we don't share our trauma, we calm the mind. Because when you calm the mind, naturally, you dissolve the emotion. When you calm the mind, naturally, you feel better. To resume, I will say suicide comes from depression. But depression comes from stress. When you reduce the stress by calming the mind, you reduce the depression. So you don't commit suicide. And I say that to you, John, because many years ago I tried to take my life. I know what it is. I know what it is. And I was born in France, in Paris. You can listen my accent, French. And I was born in a very difficult family, violent family. So the pain started when I was so young, and there is a moment it was too much. So I wanted to take my life. So I know what does it mean. We must have improved the suffering if we want to help other people. But when I was so young, I became my student. I realized what Saint Therese of Lisieux, Little Flower, Santa Teresa, wrote. You know, she wrote a genius quote who guides all my life. Saint Therese wrote, "There is no life without peace." There is no life. We are not alive. In Tibetan tradition, we talk about the experience of the death alive. When we are stressed, we exist, but we don't live. So calming the mind was my own therapy. Of course, each case is different. Each case, each person is a special adventure. And medication must be combined with meditation. And meditation, it's also a medication. So I wanted to start this class to share with you this fantastic hope for the world. Yes, we can solve the question of suicide. It's not a hope that maybe we hope one day it could happen if we practice. No, no, no. This is what we live every day with the prisoners of Los Angeles. I have in my mind the souvenir of Victor. Victor was incarcerated 45 years. 45. And when I gave the class to Victor, each time, and I say, "Victor, how do you feel?" You know what he said to me? He said, "Michel, I feel free. I am free." Because when you calm the mind, you are free. There is no trauma. There is no thing. Suddenly, you realize that life is beyond emotion. Life is beyond emotion. So I am here to reply to each of your questions and to lead a short meditation to help each of us to meditate in the chaos. And just to be very precise, if you go to meditate in a quiet place, it's beautiful, but it will never help you in your stressful situation. I say that because I teach for Google, for example. I remember a few years ago, one of the top managers of Google said, "Michel, we have a questions for you. We spend a lot of money for the employees. We pay amenities, yoga studio, meditation room, restaurant, fitness. The employees of Google, they love that. But when they go back to their open space, when they go back at the work, they are stressed again. How can you explain that?" And I say to this person, your question is your answer. Because if you educate your brain to be calm in a quiet place, you don't educate your brain to be calm in the chaos. You educate your brain, you stimulate your brain at the opposite of your goal. So it cannot work. We need to calm the mind inside our stressful situation. And at Google, you will be surprised, I gave classes in Times Square in New York City. So we go to Times Square to calm the mind, because you know, John, at the second you calm the mind, in the middle of the chaos, in Times Square, or at the second you calm the mind in a conflict with someone, at the second you calm the mind when you have money pressure, when life is too much difficult, at the second you calm your mind, at this moment, your brain understands. Your brain understands, yes, I can be calm in my difficult situation. I can be calm in my stressful situation. And this is like that, for example, that we work with Uber drivers in Los Angeles. One of our teachers, Juliana, she trained the Uber drivers at the freeway in LA at the rush hour. So the Uber drivers drives in the traffic. Juliana leads the meditation for him, but the day after, when the Uber driver is entering in his car, suddenly he say, oh my gosh, I am calm in the traffic. So I will talk more than meditation, I will talk more about a cognitive re-education. A cognitive re-education. We re-educate our brain in our stressful situation. And it goes so fast. I hope I am enough clear with my French accent.
Yes, you're very clear.
I see many of your comments and it really touched all my heart. Yeah, Shona, we calm the mind in Times Square. Thank you for my accent. You are so sweet. Thank you, Shona. The kids to train the mind in the difficulty. You know, when we see, I come from a monastic life. So when I see meditation in America, you know, beautiful girls in a bikini, hey, take a deep breath, etc. I cry. This is not meditation. This is blablatation. It's a blabla. It's blablatation. So, so John, I see your question. Can we calm the mind when a 3-year-old is crying and demanding? Shona, you speak French. So let's go to each of your questions. First, thank you for this chat. It's an honor to be with each of you, and I was praying just before our class that our class can help each of you. So let's talk about the baby crying. Kids are so perturbated. They have a lot of stress, like adults, like teenagers, like very old people. Usually, I make a parenthesis, we never talk about that, but very old people are super stressed. And they have the fears of the death. So there is another source of stress. Now let's go about your question, John, for kids of 3 years. I will reply to you from a neuroscientific perspective. Meditation, it is what we name in neuroscience a neuron mirror effect. Neuron mirror effect. What we name in Tibetan lung. Let me write lung in the chat. Lung in Tibetan means transmission of energy. When we talk, we transmit our energy. When we lead a meditation, we transmit our energy. This is lung. This is what we name in neuroscience. I write to be more clear. So the neuron mirror effect. So every emotion is contagious. If we are stressed, we will not calm the mind to a child or to anyone. It's like when I give a class, if I am not calm, there is zero benefit. The benefit of the class depends on our calming mind. When we are deeply calm, the child of 3 years can feel it. Because again, it's not an utopia, it's not philosophical, it's not religious, it is scientific. Neuron mirror effect. So the best present that we can offer to a child or to anyone, this is to be calm. You know, in psychology, it's very well known, the study when we talk to someone, we keep 7% of the words of the person. 7%. But 93% of what we keep, this is the energy of the person. The energy. So the calmer we are, the more we calm our kids, and the more we help every people around us. This is the reason why everyone, we have the responsibility to calm everyone. To calm everyone. This is our responsibility. Is it clear? So, again, it's not, I want, exactly, Claire. This is beautiful what you write. If, you know, many journalists ask me all the time, what is the best meditation teacher in America? And I say the best meditation teacher, this is the person that we meet today. Everyone is our meditation teacher. Every situation, it's an opportunity to be more present. You know, as we say in the monastery, more present. When we are more present, we become more intelligent. Make the experience. When you are stressed, you become more stupid. So, when you are calm, you become more intelligent, for sure. More present, more intelligent, more kind. When we are stressed, we are not kind, grumpy. You know, we are grumpy because the circulation of oxygen in the brain cannot flow perfectly. So we have a sort of neuro-irritation, and we are grumpy. So more present, more intelligent, more kind, so more grateful, more free. The goal of the life, it is to be more grateful, to appreciate. I will say the goal of the life is to be alive, to be more alive, to appreciate every situation. So every teacher is the person that we meet. And it is fascinating when we talk about the neuron mirror effect, because it's exactly what we're explaining to the Tibetan. All the Tibetan masters explain that the key is the integration in our daily life. How can we integrate the practice? Not how can I try to calm my mind in a yoga studio, in my meditation class. No, how can I calm my mind when my child of 3 years is crying? How can I calm my mind when my life is too much difficult? When I am abused? When I have PTSD? Again, I say that to you, it was my life. I know what it is. For me, it's not a theory. I became meditation teacher at 4 years. When you are abused physically, psychologically, and after I discover sexually, you have no other choice than to calm the mind, or you die. And if I have not lived this life, I will be not with you today. And I think also with the prisoners, there is this neuron mirror effect, because we cannot help someone who suffers if we have not improved the suffering. We must be, I will say something special, but we must be what we say. We must be what we pray. We must be what we teach. And this is the most difficult. I live in New York. How many yoga teachers, meditation teachers are so stressed? I was very surprised. When I came from Nepal, I was living at Kopan Monastery in the Himalayas in Nepal, Kathmandu. When I arrived in New York, my first student was a yoga instructor at Equinox. She was a big star of yoga. And she said, Michel, I am so stressed. I say, how can you teach yoga if you are stressed? Cannot work. Just you share your stress, but it cannot work to help people. So, if you want, I can lead a short meditation for each of you, or I am here with you, for you. Let's meditate. Yeah, thank you, Shana. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, each of you. I am very, very happy. Thank you, Junior. Thank you, John. Very happy to be with you. So I will propose to you a very simple meditation. And I will sing, yes. When I was a child, to sing was also my medicine. I start to sing on stage at 9 years old. And maybe you will laugh, but when I was abused, I was listening all the time music, and especially Earth, Wind and Fire. I love this band, I love this music. And it's amazing because many years after, the musician of Earth, Wind and Fire, they play with me now. I sing at Carnegie Hall every year since 9 years. And next year, in 2026, we will celebrate my 10 years concert at Carnegie Hall with the musician of Earth, Wind and Fire. So I will lead a short meditation for you, and I will sing at the end of this meditation. So when we talk about the chaos, when we talk about Times Square, for example, let's meditate like in Times Square. Let's meditate like a mountain. The mountain, this is the symbol to be grounded, to be reconnected to the Mother Nature, to be reconnected to the force of the earth. So in our way of meditation, there is no exercise, there is no effort, no caution, there is nothing. Just I will snap 3 times to give the start, and 1 minute after I will snap to give the end, and just you can close your eyes. And just we close our eyes. We are sitting down like a mountain in a comfortable position. We do nothing. Just we are sitting down like a mountain. And we visualize a mountain, a huge mountain. And we see the mountain is grounded, stable. And in the chaos of our world, we need stability. To be grounded like a mountain. So we visualize a mountain, a huge mountain, and we will breathe in mentally the stability of the mountain. We will hold the stability. We will hold our breath 2 seconds. And when we will exhale, we will diffuse the stability of the mountain in every cells of our body. So just we are sitting down like a mountain. We visualize a mountain. We see the stability of the mountain, and together we breathe in the stability of the mountain like that. Hold, exhale, stability. And immediately we feel stable, grounded, like a mountain. Let's do it again. We visualize a mountain. We see the stability of the mountain. And we breathe in mentally the stability of the mountain together like that. Hold, diffuse stability. And immediately we feel better, grounded, stable, like a mountain. We can be in the middle of the chaos, but we can be like a mountain. And we stay like that, like a mountain. 1 second. Two seconds. 3, 4, 5 seconds. Calm, grounded, like a mountain. And when we are like a mountain, we can listen some chanting from the mountain. Do do we we meditate like a mountain, we become a mountain. And we open our eyes. How do you feel, my friends? Oh, thank you, Shona. Thank you, Junior. Thank you so much. You see, in 1 minute, we can calm the mind. In 1 minute, no exercise, no effort, because meditation, it's a transmission of energy. The neuron mirror effect. Thank you, Shona, for the singing, for what you write. I can sing for you something special to say thank you to each of you. As you have understood, I am French. I was born in Montmartre, in Paris, where there is Edith Piaf. I love Edith Piaf, and each time I sing at Carnegie Hall, I feel the soul of Edith Piaf. She still stays in the backstage of Carnegie Hall. And when I finish my concert since 10 years at Carnegie Hall, many times we finish by a melody that each of you know, that I will sing. It's a melody of Edith Piaf. La vie en rose. Quand elle me prend dans ses bras. Let me change the sound. Quand elle me prend dans ses bras, qu'elle me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Elle me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Elle est entrée dans mon cœur, une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est elle pour moi, moi pour elle, pour la vie. Elle me l'a dit, l'a juré pour la vie. Et chaque fois que je l'aperçois, j'entends au fond de moi son cœur qui bat. La 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 vie en rose. Ah la 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 vie en
That was awesome. That was super awesome. Lots of comments in the.
Oh, I try that every class can be so special. Every class can stay in our heart forever. I really hope that you will remember our class. You will say, this French guy, we don't know exactly what he said with his accent. but it calms the mind.
Indeed.
But I really want to say to each of you, thank you, thank you, thank you, John, thank you, Junior, to having me. And I give you my Instagram. You can contact me anytime. I give you Michel meditates. So I take 1 hour every day to reply to every message. It's also for me a spiritual practice. When you were talking this morning, John and Junior, about artificial intelligence, or fun can become a way to calm the mind. We can use our fun, we can use our social media on a spiritual way. Artificial intelligence can create the worst or the most beautiful things. Maybe artificial intelligence will save the world. It could be possible. I believe in that. I believe in a better world. And when I see the prisoners of LA, 0 suicide, what a fucking hope for the world. Sorry to talk like that, but it's amazing hope for the world. So I will be very happy to join you again, to serve the veteran. I really love from all my heart the military veteran. And if you are in New York, I give a speech for New York PD today, a class. You can see on my Instagram, it's open to public, with the mayor of New York City. He will make a speech after the class. And I open my classes in person in New York from July 10. Let me give you July 10. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. And this is at Insight Meditation. Insight Meditation, it's written on ChatGPT. This is the most prestigious meditation center of New York. And I give a retreat. I give a retreat also in July 18, 19, 20. When I talk about retreat, it's a retreat dedicated to every question of the people. It's not I prepare a program, it's we prepare the retreat before by Zoom to reply to each of your questions during the retreat. And if you are interested to become meditation teacher, train in our program, you can contact me on Instagram. I will connect you with my team, because to help people to calm the mind, this is an amazing job. This is an amazing mission. So like that, we can keep in touch all time. And oh, thank you, Shona. I will be, yes, it's very helpful. Suddenly, nothing is more beautiful than to calm the mind to someone. So, if you have any question, I hope it was a great session for each of you. And I will be so happy to be back, like to create a course, John, as you were thinking, because of course the key is the consistency. The key is to be consistent, to train the brain every day. So this is what we can do.
Definitely. I want to jump in and just say that was amazing, Michel. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for all the new members that also actually chimed in. We also see John's 3-year-old and he's also calm right now, so I guess it did help. Want to remind everyone, please drop your email address if you are new in the comments, so we can actually keep in touch. And you can also follow us on the socials, Airhead Institute. And just wanted to give a chance to anybody who wanted to ask a question or leave a comment, anything. We can actually bring it on the chat. Michelle does have quite a few of his socials as well. We did show that on the Instagram, his Michelle Meditates, and he has also michellepascal.tv. All right. If that's it, John, you want to say anything?
Thank you, my baby. You are too cute.
All right. Wiped us off, brother.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining.
Credits.